Hey, Fran, how many people are we missing or are we going to be missing?
Only one, Earbob.
Okay, good. I thought
Everybody,
that's what I remembered.
yeah, everybody else should be there. I even finally got Andrew to answer me. He says he's been having trouble receiving emails.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, maybe it's like Christy, because it's on his end. It's not,
Not on our end.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's the constant contact thing,
Mm-hmm.
because if I send it to him from my AOL, he can answer those.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And this will be Jennifer's last day, I understand,
Yep.
or on the BDC.
Yep. And I feel like either I counsel on Tuesday night, they were talking about someone else coming on.
Yeah, CC Bartels.
Right. But I was trying to remember if that was.
But I didn't know who that was replacing.
Well, that's what it isn't replacing. They were saying when there is next an opening. I can't
Oh,
remember if they already assumed filling Jennifer's position or not. They've been thinking ahead on a bunch of things.
sure.
And there were two people who had wanted green space or Parks and Rec, who wanted one of them. And then they filled that position, and then they had multiple people left over. And then they looked at what else they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and we had so many positions, we had 4 openings on historic preservation.
Oh, wow.
We had just one after the other kind of have to leave. And then we added them all on, like each council meeting, they appointed another one,
A
like
new one?
the other. Yeah, so I've just gained like half a new commission. Okay. All right. Well, then I think I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not used to being the only one on.
That's true. That's true.
Normally, I just handle my stuff.
Right, exactly. And this one's just kind of you're there if you're needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's not technically on my list of
Right,
commissions I'm supposed to handle or completely handle.
right. On your long list.
I have more than anybody else.
Just commissions could be keep you busy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to, there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But then there's technically 16 if you include Board of Adjustment. And I
Okay.
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a
Uh-huh.
lot.
Uh-huh. And some of them don't meet. So like traffic.
Yeah, they're not every month.
Oh, they're not even like every year. I think traffic hasn't met in a year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah,
Health,
when you add COVID in there.
yeah, and then health and environmental services, they last met when we updated the chicken ordinance like 4 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those don't count. And I think Public Works has both of those.
Well, that makes sense.
I'm looking at my list.
Do we have a horse ordinance? I remember when people used to have horses.
No, the animals and fowl ordinance says you can have no goats. You can have teacup pigs. You can have a certain number of chickens and bees. And that is it right now.
The last one I remember was the house on the corner of Gore and Swan.
Okay.
And they've got a big side and front yard. And they had a horse in their yard. In their yard.
Oh, that is crazy.
That's when I was real little.
That's completely crazy.
Yeah, it was odd.
That's very odd. All right, everybody, come on.
Yeah. Like grab that cup of coffee and I'm scrambling. The table that I normally use, I'm all set up and one of the legs popped off.
Oh no.
It's a portable table.
Uh-huh.
And I had just water, fortunately. I didn't have hot coffee. It went everywhere.
Oh my God.
Like, no.
Yeah, not this morning.
No.
I have a whole series of like meeting.
Back to back.
Back to back. And then I've got a little bit of a break. And then we've got soccer. And we're still waiting to find out. She's been practicing with varsity this week, but she's on JV. So we're still waiting to see. I'm pretty sure she's playing on JV today. But if she's on JV today, we're at Kirkwood. If they suddenly tell her to play varsity, we're at home.
It's like, where do I show up?
Yeah. And then which uniform does she wear?
Oh my gosh.
And so, so I'm waiting on that. I think they're going to wait, and they're just going to wait until Monday. They have Monday 2 back-to-back games at Fox. So I think she might get to play in both of those. I think that might be her first time.
That's kind of exciting.
It is. And my parents flew in. They arrived last night.
Oh, they did.
And we haven't seen them in 16 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're coming to watch soccer and softball.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Morning. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Hi, Mike.
You should have all but one today.
Oh, really? Who's not going to be here?
Earbub.
Okay. I can catch him up to speed. I have to go to see him tomorrow.
There you go. I always laugh about that with Crossroads because my daughter's getting her braces done and Heidi's on Crossroads. So I see Heidi and then we show up for braces.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Union Bagels does with the storefront. You talked about them doing some sort of striping thing.
It looks exactly like the old paint striping, but with different colors.
That's going to be so cool.
Uh-huh.
When's their time frame? Are they opening up pretty soon?
No, I think they're going slow.
Okay.
Actually, it's funny. I meant to look and see what inspections they've had. Shoot, what is their address? Let me look. Yeah, it seems like they've been kind of slow on their. There's a few contractors that are doing sort of slower. Oh, I've got other stuff going on, and I'll get to it. And
Sure.
okay, wait, 8705. What inspections have they had? Oh, they've had, yeah, no, everything has been for some previous stuff they were fixing.
Gotcha.
So they're still, they haven't even had a framing yet. They went ahead and did some demo stuff separate that we let them do while they were going through the other plan review. So they're a little slower.
Yeah. Contractors are busy right now. All the ones I work with are slammed, so
They are
it's good, but
totally
it
slammed.
makes this project slow. Hey Jennifer, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've gotten to see you since I saw the news.
I don't know who will take the Webster U spot here or try for it. I was trying to get those answers before I leave tomorrow, but
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's my
You
last
said
day.
it was the end of the month and it's getting close. I didn't realize.
No. I have my Zoom goodbye party. Like leaving during a
Oh.
pandemic is kind of silly.
Yeah. My dad retired this year, back in like January, and that was kind of,
Yeah, it just feels like, yeah, it's like, and we've got a lot of people
Lord.
retiring at the end of May, and I feel bad for them because it's like in years past, it would be like a little cheese and punch party, and
Sure.
and now they just get a Zoom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Morning, Tim. How are you?
Tim.
I'm good. Jennifer, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Tomorrow's my last day here at Webster, so I get
Oh,
my
really?
my Zoom happy hour today. And then a few of us are going to go to Frisco tomorrow.
Oh, so you get a happy hour, but the other people retiring don't.
Well, they probably get a tiny one, but not like an official Webster one. It's just how many people can I meet with in public without
Sure.
creating a super spreader event? That's always the question. Yeah, because Ken Crehan, isn't he on Old Orchard Business District?
Yep.
He's retiring at the end of May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because you worked with Ken a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I work with Ken all the time.
Yeah. I don't know who's gonna take all the stuff that Ken does, but yeah. Yeah.
And then you got a little bit of time. You don't start until.
No, I have a week off. I get my second shot. So this is my week off is my second shot, recovering from my second shot, and then getting a storm door replaced. So I know how to party. I know.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully the second shot's not too bad for you.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Which one of you is Moderna, Pfizer?
Moderna.
So
Yeah.
for me, it was 24 hours after. So
Okay.
got the shot on a Friday afternoon, and on Saturday, probably about 6 o'clock, I just kind of felt crappy.
Okay.
And then I was fine the next morning.
Okay, because I get it like Tuesday morning at 9:30, and then so I kind of like I've made no plans that Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to say probably around Wednesday at noon, you're just going to want to lay down in bed.
I'll just watch a lot of Dairy Girls and
There you go.
I'll be fine. Yeah.
Woke
Mara,
up.
exactly like you. 24 hours later, I mean, almost on the dime. I got a 10 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock the next morning, I just started headache, a little achy.
Body aches.
Yeah, just not. And by 3 o'clock, I was like, okay, I don't want to be working anymore. I just want to go sit in the chair and not do anything. But I did have a cocktail.
Bed, watch Netflix.
Yeah, I did have a cocktail that evening, and so by the evening I was fine. But yeah, it was 24 hours almost exactly when I started feeling bad.
Woke
Well,
up on vitamins, zinc, C, D.
And we've had the gamut. We've got, so my husband did Johnson & Johnson. I had Moderna, and Olivia's had her first Pfizer. So we've got
Okay.
all three in one household. And Jim with the Johnson & Johnson about 12 hours later was when he was just chills and kind of a mess, but overnight. And then the next morning he was almost back to good. And then we'll see. Olivia's second shot is in like 2 weeks.
Which one did she have?
She had Pfizer because she's 16, so she can't, that's the only one she can get.
Okay.
Did she react to the first one?
Nope, not a thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
more-
fine. I didn't have any reaction on the Pfizer ones at all. So if you want to hear a funny story real quick. So I was in the Johnson & Johnson clinical. So I was either, I got a shot in October, either placebo or, the shot. And then I'd given blood a couple times after that, the Red Cross does the antibody test, and my antibodies were negative. So I assumed that was placebo. And then February, when J&J got emergency use, we got an email that when we were in there that said like, thanks for your help, but we're not going to go ahead and vaccinate the placebo group. So I was like, oh, you can pull out of it at any time. So I just figured I'd pull out, and then I got the Pfizer vaccine. And then I had to go in there like a week ago. They were going to do an unblinding. And they asked me, you got to get the vaccines? I'm like, yeah, I got the Pfizer one. They're like, oh, that's fine. Then you won't get the Johnson & Johnson one. The woman's like, I already looked at your file, you were placebo. And I'm like, I know, I had an antibody test too. And then she's going through and doing some blood work and stuff like that. And she goes, oh crap. She's like, you actually were the vaccine. So I've got my Johnson & Johnson clinical card, and I've got the Pfizer one too.
Oh
Wow.
Wow, there, Mike.
Oh,
Some people couldn't get any of them, and you're collecting them.
Yeah, I told Sarah, she's like, are you kidding? I'm like, oh, what's done is done. So,
As long as you guys are talking about vaccines, I interviewed the lead nurse for Webster Grove School District yesterday, and it'll air on the radio tomorrow morning. And we talk about vaccine hesitancy and how to talk to people that lack confidence and are complacent or think they're immune or whatever. So it's a pretty good discussion. I got to try it on two of my vaccine hesitant friends last night, just talking to them. So,
wow.
And now you can say you know someone who's got it twice and he seems fine. So
yes, absolutely. More ammunition to convince the unconvinced.
I just got an email from Andrew that he didn't have the link. I'm not sure why he emailed me, but I forwarded him the link.
You
okay.
did? Did you forward him your link or the general link?
The reminder email I just got.
So it's okay. He'll come in as you. So I'll just change his name.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Good deal. So Andrew should be coming in, and we're waiting on John too, right?
And Pam.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I know we can get to it when we get to my section, but I won't have a sample of the video to show. I got an email at 3:30 this morning.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would like. You could have checked. It really wasn't necessary to do an all-nighter for this. Like, it's really, you could have just given me a heads up at 10 o'clock when I went to bed at 10. I would have been like, you don't need to stay up all night.
Yeah, but it's so much more dramatic if they send it at 3 a.m. He probably set his alarm and sent it at 3 a.m. so you feel sorry for him.
Or he knew it wasn't going to get done, but wanted to make it look like he was pulling an all-nighter.
Maybe.
Exactly.
I was like, I don't even know the last time I was up at 3:30 in the morning to email something.
Not for stuff like that. That's for
No.
sure. So,
I wake up at 3:30. I have to go to the bathroom, and then I just go right back to bed.
oh.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry.
I had to fix you. You were
Okay. I
so
was going to say, speaking of Jennifer Starkey,
the links that get sent to you are personal links that put you directly in. And so normally, like Mike, for some reason, you never use the personal link. You use the general link. It always puts you in as an attendee, and I have to move you over. But you should be getting always an hour before a reminder.
Yeah.
And then you should be getting one like when we first set you up for the meeting.
here's what I think happened.
They go to my work email, and my work email is not Zoom friendly, so I use our Chromebook. Otherwise, I can't see everybody.
So if you want us to send it to something else, that can be a separate, like when I set up the Zoom meetings, I actually set it up with a separate thing, and I can switch it to a different email if you want it to email.
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have you switch it to my Yahoo. So it's basically, it's the same. It's MJ Pincus, but it's just at Yahoo.
Okay.
What up? Well, should we get started since it's almost 8:10, or we have enough, right, to get started?
Yeah.
We do have a lot. That way we can start getting through everything. But so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Did you guys get a chance to review the minutes? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve.
Okay, Rebecca, do we have a second?
I can second.
Okay, Jennifer, second. And all in favor on approving the minutes?
Aye.
All right, minutes are approved. So good to go. And then no visitors. Let's see, Jennifer, you want to talk about where we're at on the your final update on the video update, I guess. And
Yeah. So the kids are apparently up late last night, editing it. It's just, I asked them like a week ago, I was like, heads up, I have a meeting next week, Thursday. I would love to show a draft of the video. If it has giant black chunks in it and some parts without music, that's fine. I just would love to give them an update. And they're like, that shouldn't be a problem. And then at 3:30 in the morning last night, they're like, I'm not sure if we'll get this ready to you by the time what time is your meeting? And so I wrote back, it's at 8 a.m. So I haven't heard from them since. But as soon as I get the draft of that, their semester ends the end of next week is like the end of their semester. And then the first week of May is their exams. So I'm assuming that in the next week, I will get that video and then we can just email it to everybody and then email back feedback. I guess the quicker with the feedback, the better, so that they can make the changes before the semester ends. But yeah, so I would expect within the next week, we'll get it, maybe even today. And then I'll just email it to everybody and watch and share feedback. But this is the one on gardening. They were never able, the guy from Rogers Produce was not interested in being interviewed on camera. So they don't have an interview from Rogers, but they did get shots of Rogers. So Rogers is included in the video. And I said that was fine. I said there was the same deal with Leopard Boutique at the last one, that they couldn't get her on camera, but they at least showed the exterior of Leopard in the style one. So yeah, so that should be within the next week.
Good deal.
Will we be able to continue this on after you have moved on?
I did. I did email the professor, and I told him that I was moving to a different job, but that I gave him my contact information, and that I also have it. I can share that with Fran or with anyone else. And he's happy to keep continuing it. So he won't have a class this summer, but he'll have a class in the fall. And there's also there's somebody here at the office that I'm hoping she steps into. It applies to be on the Business Development Commission. She's a communication specialist in the department. She has a real interest in she's always one of those people who's like, have you been to Maypop? And have you been she just loves all the businesses in Webster Grove. So I think that she'd be a good addition. It's not my decision. So I'm kind of hoping that that works out, but her name is Katie Deckman. So hopefully if Katie Deckman steps into this, I did save all of the paperwork and the contacts and the explanations for these things for whoever is assigned this, so that they can take it and run with it. And then I'm also not far. So if you guys have questions, yeah.
Good deal. Well, we appreciate you, Jennifer. So
Thank you.
I was excited for you, but that was one of my thoughts too. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss Jennifer on the BDC.
Well, I'm just glad she's not going to Creve Coeur or someplace.
Yeah, congrats, Jenny.
Thank
You
you.
know.
Thank you.
Agreed. So, well, good deal. Well, do you guys want to hop into the subcommittee update? I know there's some recommendations and everything like that. Tim, I know you guys are on that. I'm not sure who wants to go through it.
I put together some notes if you want me to share those.
Sure.
Yes, I see. Okay. Let me
That
share.
would be good, since I was not at the last one.
Can everybody see that?
Mhm.
Yes.
This is just, I kind of looked at everything we talked about and targeted just the recommendations that we came up. Mostly this is Kara had kind of put everything on a list, and I was writing very furiously when she was talking. But these are the kind of things that the working group wants to get the BDC's buy-in and what steps we take from here. So we were focused on the business to business aspect of coordinating with the businesses and improving that. And the biggest focus seemed to be for most of the people was they kept talking like each of the districts is a pillar with the BDC as the roof over it. And we needed to strengthen the pillars first. For example, in Crossroads, Alan Nearing is on the working group, and he doesn't even know who everybody else is in his district. And He's like, how can I strengthen the coordination with another district when I need to strengthen the coordination within my own? So that was kind of like where the conversation went. Kara, jump in.
No, I mean, I think these notes are good. One of the things we talked about during the meeting is that, you know, I feel like well, Alan Nearing had a really good example, and it I think acts as a very good case study of how to do this. And they all started kind of working on what, Fran, it was his window designs, right?
Yes.
That they worked on. So it was just like a good kind of easy project that strengthened their little community, and it got people to meet each other. And I'm like, well, I think that's what we need to do, is have kind of little community projects in each of the groups, which will filter out the people who, you know, probably aren't going to participate in something like this. But it also forges relationships and gets people working towards kind of a united front, which I think is maybe what we need to bolster those community relationships. And so from then, we're, like Fran said, strengthening the pillars. We talked about just making sure that people knew what was in the districts, what was in the other districts, making sure that the website and all of the lists were correct. But then we also talked about the idea of having that multi-district kind of like crawl, whether it's, you know, Shop Webster Groves or, you know, a little John Bar mentioned maybe having like a little singer-songwriter in each place. So people would go from place to place to place, and get used to not just staying in whatever business district was by their house or had easy parking or whatever. So I mean, like, these are our recommendations. I think that now we need to talk as the BDC on, you know, do we think this is a good idea? What do we want to like really focus on? What do we want to cut? I think now we're looking for some overall guidance from the working group. I mean, the working group is looking for overall guidance.
I like the idea that you were talking about as far as getting together, you know, projects to build a community and, you know, and get everybody together. I think that's really important, especially just where everything's been the past, you know, 12 to 15 months. I think a lot of businesses, but really a lot of people have been secluded. And so, yeah, I get that they're saying that they need to forge relationships with each other before they can really be focused on, you know, on everything. I wonder what we can do to facilitate that. I think that would be a good starting point.
Yeah, and we had like thrown around a couple ideas, like, you know, maybe it's some sort of neighborhood beautification and planting cute flowers and the planters outside. But I think it could be a good thing that they would lead too, you know, like, what do we need in our small section? Obviously cost prohibitive, but, you know, is there something that we could all chip in and combine efforts or talents and make this little project and this little section of Webster better? And then, I mean, I think that's just going to be more effective in creating some real relationships than just adding people to an email list, which is also important, but easy to ignore.
Yeah, agreed.
There's also those, like, when they do like the Paint Webster and some of those the other committees and commissions do something like, I wonder if there's a way to partner with that, you know, so that it's like while people are outside painting, a sidewalk sales happening at the same. So it's just like there's tons of, you know, or if the sustainability wants to do anything, or like when you said neighborhood projects and planting, I was thinking, I wonder if there's anything that we could partner with on sustainability for that.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like old Webster is good. And Tim, I mean, you guys have been closed for a while, but they often, it seems like, come together and do some sort of like shop downtown. All these stores are having sales at the same time. I wonder how we could kind of replicate that model. And I mean, now John Barr and their group is owning most of the other section. So it seems like we've got an easy point of contact.
It just puts a lot on him.
Yeah, that's totally true.
No, we do have obviously good stuff going on where we are. It's a good group, and you know, we had our meeting on Tuesday, and Fran had put on the gazebo series as well too on there. So I thought that's a good step for us to be reaching out and putting on activities for all of Webster, not just Old Webster. So you know, we're starting to make the attempt and change the mindset of how things are.
So Mike,
Yep. Sorry
what do
about
you
that.
want?
Thought I froze there for a sec. Go ahead, Fran. I apologize.
Like the working group is waiting for what the BDC wants to do with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should, I think we should take those recommendations. Obviously, I think, you know, I think we can work with this and, you know, make this our focus for the, you know, for the next couple months as far as things that we can implement. I think I agree with you. I think looking at, you know, probably being more active in the taxing districts to figure out what they want to do, what they want to work on, make them have ownership over it is important. But yeah, I think that we should run with this. And so why don't we, I'm looking at the recommendations right now. I apologize. And so
one of the items on there definitely has a monetary element to it, which is add to existing wayfinding signage. That is not cheap. You might want to, we don't have a budget for that. So that might be one you might want to take off at this point, only because it is, we've looked at it before for a couple things and it's not an easy fix.
okay.
The way that the wayfinding signage currently is set up.
Okay. And so
there's some wayfinding signage, so it's not like we're at a total lack either.
Yeah, it's just that there's no, there is no ability to add on to the way that the structure is made. And I know when we recently had someone hit one of them, one of the ones off of I-44, at least their insurance covered it, but even with their insurance covering it, it was like an $11,000 plus repair just to get the base back because it was completely hit by a car and knocked down.
Sure.
So that might be something we do not have a budget for that you might want to.
Well, let's go through the other ones then line by line. So provide an inventory of the businesses in each district and share it with the businesses in their associated district. We have that. I mean, right? That's, we have to have that available, right, Mara?
We do. It will require some work. It's not set up in our system based on the boundaries necessarily. I mean, well, when I say that, Crossroads, Old Webster and Old Orchard have a little line off to the side that I can sort and filter. But I guess the question is, just because you're providing an inventory for those 3 districts, what are you doing with all the others? And those don't have a way to be sorted out.
Well, and Mara, I would say, I know Webster's redoing their website, and they're going to.
So these are 2 different things. So just for a second, the website is something that someone check boxes on their permit application, what they want on the website. And inventory of businesses is different than what's on the website. So I'm talking about what we have in terms of business license permits in the permit application system, which is different. So the website, yes, there's a total redo of the website, which that's a different element. But if you want an inventory of what businesses have business licenses within the district, that's a totally different system.
But as we talked about in the previous meeting that I was at, that they're going to go back through or attempt to go back through all of the businesses that are out there. I mean, because if you type in Alan's business and type in architect, it doesn't come up.
Because he didn't put it on his application, the
Right.
word architect. Yes. So it's what people asked, like wrote on their permit. But again, that information that he put on his application is not in my permit system. I wasn't on that meeting. And
Right.
so later Joanne told me about it. And I was like, oh, but if you click the button that says house and home, he shows up with all the architects. But because in his description of his business, he didn't use the word architect. When you type the word architect, it's not in the name of his business. And he didn't put it in the description of his business. So that's why it didn't show up. So we can fix all of those, definitely. But just know that wording and language is not in our permit system. So I want to make sure everyone understands how we do some of the stuff. So when a permit business license application comes in, all the key information related to the address, who the contact information is, all that basic information is in there. But there's a lot of other things on the application that don't go into the permit system. So do they want to participate in gift certificates? Not in the permit system. What did they ask to put on the website or not put on the website? What category did they want to go on the website? All of that was just on the paper form. And then as it comes in, they just put it on the website. So it's not in the main system if I do a quick sort.
Okay, so how is the BDC going to provide an inventory of businesses in each district? How is that a possibility?
So that here, Fran, stop sharing your screen for a second.
Oh, it looks like something needs to be created here, right?
No, nothing needs to be created. I just want to let me explain how we have our system so that you guys can see what data you can have pretty easily. So so in here, oh wait, do I want this one? Yes. Sorry, I don't want Microsoft Edge. I want Chrome. There we go. Okay. So in here, for example, under business licenses, I have a system in here where I can create a column, add a column. Business license taxing district. And I can type in Old Webster. And then with that, I can also type in that it is an active business, not something that's new and in review or anything like that, or inactive. And I can pull up all their address, their business name. I can remove and add different columns. And then I can actually create an Excel spreadsheet out of it, and I can pull that out as an Excel. So it's a system that's pretty easy to pull a whole bunch of data and information. However, we do not add into this system, do they want a business do they want to participate in gift certificates? Do they want to? That is on the city's website, which is a slightly different system, but as each business comes in, they get added automatically to the website. So on the website, there's a different element. So if you go to doing business and business directory, if they clicked and said they wanted to be in the house and home category, everyone pops up that's in there that said they wanted to be in house and home. So even if they didn't have the word architect, they would be in there. But if they said that they wanted to be on, or it's Crossroads, they are in there because architectures is interior design. And Naring, let me go back to House and Home. So House and Home, and I go to, sorry, he's on the next page. B, C. There's a lot of House and Home. M, N. So he's here, and he wrote a full service architectural and interior design firm that specializes in creating environments that reflect their client. So that's what he wrote when he turned in his business license application of what he wanted on the city's website. So if you put in the word architect, it's not necessarily going to find it, but that's an issue with, potentially with the website. But his name does not have the name architect. So if you type in architect, it's only going to find the ones that have the word architect in the name.
Because
So
architect's not a category, basically. Right?
Yeah, it's just in the name. It has to be in the name that they said it. And he is Nearing Design. We could add, like for some people, she did JG Design Studio and then wrote the word architect. So we can update his that says in parentheses architects, and he's found. But this information is not in this system. This information we can export out of the back end of the website, but it's not going to be in the same Excel spreadsheet as this one is. And this
the license management's up to date because you're making them inactive when a business closes and everything like that.
Yeah, when a business closes, it becomes inactive. When it opens, when it's under, so for example, we have a couple different statuses. So we have active and inactive, but we also have like in review. So if they've turned it in and I just want to see who are all the ones that are currently waiting. So like new business review, he's moving his business from one place in Old Webster to a building that he just bought in Old Webster. So this is under new business review right now. If it's pending, it's probably that they haven't renewed their business license yet, which those were due like around the mid-April, and we usually get those coming in. So there's pending, there's active, there's closed, there's new business review. There's ways to sort just with just a name. So architect, ARCHI. I can just put in the word architect, and anyone that has the name with architect in it pops up. So if I'm looking for someone to see if I can find out if someone has anything. So if I just want Zoe, I can type in Zoe and it'll start to pop up. If I want to type in design, I can find anyone who has the word design in their business name. And then I can say, oh, I want to know everybody who's currently active. And they're also in Old Webster. So there's a lot of different ways to use the data and sort it. You can also just say, I want to create a PDF out of it. And it can automatically create a PDF spreadsheet with all the data. So there's a lot of really easy ways for us to get this information to all the business districts. But it's different. I want to be really clear. It is not the same as what's put in on the website, because we do not sit there and type this into the magnet permitting system because we don't need it for our permit. They just, as soon as a new business comes in, they look to see, did they check box, I want to be on the website? And if they do, they put them directly onto the website. So hopefully that helps a little bit in explaining that.
It does.
It does. I mean, I think it's easy to create a list, but I think we should look at what we want what we want the directory to be and make it functional. And
yeah, because you also can add like, so I can add the business owner in. So if we wanted to have who the business owner was, in case you want that name. Now we don't always have the business owner name because sometimes they don't do it. Sometimes we don't have an email address because they just don't give us an email address. So yeah, so there's names off to the side on certain stuff. Just depends on what they've given us, or it depends on how old they are in the system. So, you know, Dr. Butler's been around for a really long time in Old Webster. I don't have a quote business owner name there because back when he filled out the form, our old system didn't have that as a field. So that's.
Okay. Frank, can you go back to sharing your screen as far as the bullet points of the recommendations? So providing the inventory we talked about, I think we should do that, but I think we should put it as an agenda item and just talk about it at say the next meeting and figure out exactly what we want to go in there. Mara, thanks for sharing your system because that helps as far as showing what we have.
And then if there's things that you say you need, we can try to pull those out because there's a lot of data in there.
Yeah. And you said we could potentially add fields to your system as well. That way we can make it more functional.
And it'll just be the question of how we get all the data from everybody.
Gathering the information.
Fields. But definitely. And then do know a number of years ago, and I think Fran might be the only one that remembers this. I see Pam's on now too. Pam might remember this too. We did at one point export out all the business data from the city's website and tried sending it to everyone we had email addresses for, asking them if they wanted to update their page. And I don't even think we got a dozen back. So we did try at a certain point, and we do try when they're up at the front desk, explain to them what that little paragraph section is where they can write in what they want. And we try to explain to them that this is what's going to go on the website. That's what's going to be seen.
I mean, my thoughts are if we figure out what information we want, maybe we could just split the group up or split up the businesses and we could just reach out and ask. I'm not saying take a lot of time, but if we split up 10 or 20 businesses a piece and actually call them or go there and ask for the information we need, I think that'll be effective and we'll be able to get that. But let's talk about that more. I mean, uniting the businesses with the project. I like that. You know, is that something that we should go to? One of us should go to each of the district taxing district meetings, or something that Fran, you're at all the meetings as well, right?
I am.
And so I would say either, you know, one of us go and talk to them and tell them that's something that we want to do and get feedback. And then when we get feedback, we could bring it back to BDC and we could put together a plan. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas though. I mean, is that something that you guys think is a good idea, or how should we go about that?
Well, I think the problem is, you know, Old Webster's the one main place that has the meetings. There aren't really meetings at any of these other places.
Yeah, I know. And
well, there's commission meetings at the three districts, but that's it.
Specific projects. So
you still Mike, you still have monthly commission meetings for all three districts.
Oh, we do. Okay. And those are happening.
That's different than the trade association. The trade association for Old Webster is active in all the projects. The three business districts are simply, that's how they determine the money that goes to the plants and the pots and the banners and the events. And they spend a lot of time talking about parking.
So maybe we could redirect them from talking about parking to doing something like this at their next meeting.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Oh, I guess, I mean, I like that idea, but should we push that one down? Maybe push it out a few months as people are hopefully doing more things, and then we can focus on the things that we can handle internally with the BDC. What do you guys think?
I like the idea of I know that there's plans for some things. Like I know that, I mean, there's the gazebo, but then also like the Arts Commission has reached out. They might be doing some smaller things at Lure Field. So I wonder if there's a way to get a schedule of what other, and I know that some people, they send them to the website, but if there's a way to find out what some of the other commissions or area things that are happening or doing to kind of tag onto that and make it more of a big, if something's already happening in Webster Groves, then the businesses can take part too. And get.
Yeah, it's almost more, I mean, it could almost be more of a communication piece, just to let people know it. There's plenty of things going on. It's just letting people know that they're going on.
Yeah. So take advantage of some of the crowds that might already be there and do stuff with your business at that point too.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think who gets all that information. Because yeah, we don't see what goes on with those other commissions and other schedules of events.
So I attend all of them.
You're our key man.
I attend all of them. I'm also the person who is the final sign off on all our special activities permits, which is all the event sign offs if they need to close down a street, use police services, things like that. Now, obviously this year and last year were different. Normally we have something like 30 special activities permits. Right now it's mainly 5Ks because they can social distance. And then the ones like street dance, jazz festival. I sign off on the Paint Webster support because they give awards for each of the business districts if someone paints a painting in their business district. So, I mean, I've got a lot of that. And we talked a little bit about what's the best way to get that information out. But usually what happens is as soon as I get it, we find out what kind of Facebook event they have and we add it to our Facebook page. So it's usually on there. And I'm trying, again, we haven't had any in a while, but Fran, I'm going to pull you off for a second and let me try to share the Facebook page screen. So I think you'll be able to see the ones we've done in the past. So hold on just a second. Let me. So if you go to events, you can probably see in the past. And we haven't any recent published events just because it's been a while, so no upcoming. But like the Webster-wide Spring Open House was on, the Clearance Shop Hop, Neighborhood Caroling, Santa's on the Loose, Winter Market, Ivory Crockett, Virtual Dance, Summer Sidewalk Sale. So all of those, as soon as we get a link and as soon as I approve a special activities permit or someone talks to us about it, we try to add these on. So they're all on there as events on the Facebook page. And again, hopefully we'll get a lot of these coming back again, but like every Hawken House concert, every Old Orchard concert, things with the rec center, anything that involved, multiple groups, these were all on here. And then the information would be on of how many people reached, how many responses there were, people who responded that they were going to go, who the hosts were. So all that information is definitely going to Facebook and linking it to whoever's hosting the event. So if we get that information, like right now, the only ones I haven't put up yet are Ivory Crockett. I've approved Ivory Crockett. I'm almost finished approving Cinco de Mayo. I've approved, there's a like multi-mile bike race that's going through us. And Jim Shame will run. So we've got all of those approved. So I don't know if that helps in any way.
I mean, it helps. I know we know that it's out there. I guess the issue is that when you look at the reach, a lot of people aren't seeing it on Facebook, right? I mean,
because usually what we say is, and again, that last one didn't reach very well. They say that, each of the businesses needs to continue to share it. So if a business that has a much bigger reach shares it and shares the same event, doesn't create a new event. We had a problem with like the Hawken House series. They were creating the event under 3 different things and then it wasn't all together. But if the one original entity creates the event and then the various businesses share it, it's getting that out is important.
So do you think it's more of an education piece with how to get the word out of this stuff and to make sure that the businesses that want people in their district or are sharing, regardless of whether they're interested in it or not, or it affects their business? That way we can expand that reach. And I think most people know how the Facebook reach and Facebook advertising and stuff like that work, but.
So Tim, I don't know. I mean, with the spring sale, was it talked in the trade association about, hey, share the event? I mean, I know Stacy put it out there.
Yeah, no, it's always about sharing that.
I even have a thing that emphasizes what steps you need to do and remind it. The key is if they are actively in Facebook, some folks are comfortable doing that, others just never get around to it. And then depending upon what your business is, Facebook isn't their focus. They're spending all their time on Instagram. So, and then you've got the restaurants spend a lot of time on Twitter. Retail doesn't do any Twitter. So, but even the ones that do have an event on Facebook, they still, some of them need like a Facebook 101. That's not their focus. They're busy running their business.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I like the idea that you said, Mike, of actually having someone from the BDC attend a commission meeting and kind of clue them in as to what we're doing. Right now, they have no idea that there's a working group, or most of them still don't understand what the BDC does. I think a good idea would be to make connections there.
why don't we start with that? I think the action items in the subcommittee, or the subcommittee came up with, are important. But I think we need to expand on them all. And I think it'll take time. And I think we should make that a focus of our next meeting. Again, for the sake of time, because we're going to run out. But what are the dates of those meetings, Fran?
It's similar to, like, we're always, the BDC is always the 4th Thursday. So Crossroads is always the 3rd Thursday. Old Orchard is always the 2nd Tuesday. And Old Webster is always the 4th Tuesday.
I volunteer for the Old Webster one.
I'll do Old Orchard.
So Old Orchard is next meeting on May 11th.
Okay.
Crossroads is next meeting on May 20th.
Somebody like to do Crossroads?
We need a volunteer. I'm happy to.
Yeah, I'll do Crossroads.
Thanks, Rebecca.
And when is it?
May 20th, which is a Thursday morning at 8 a.m.
May 20th. Okay.
And
Hey, Andrew, do you want to go too? I know you were interested in going as well.
If we think it would be useful. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it would hurt. I mean, I think I agree. It's, it's all about building relationships. So I think, if they can see a few more faces on BDC, that's not a bad thing at all.
Sure, I'm happy to go to either of those three, whatever you think is most useful.
so let me know who's going to go to what so I can send you links. So right now, Mike, I'm sending you Old Orchard.
Okay.
Is it Rebecca and Andrew? Am I sending you Crossroads?
That's what I got.
Okay. All right, I'll send those out. Tim doesn't need another link.
I would like one.
Another link?
Yeah.
You could put it up on multiple computer screens.
Yeah. It's just
I'm
make
BDC.
me feel special.
Sure.
Andrew and Rebecca, I will warn you that Crossroads will be discussing parking and a streetscape.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So
Maybe we just need to
do
be
you want-
strategic about what we do. I mean, maybe we think about just carving out 5 minutes to explain the purpose of our presence in the
Actually,
initiative, and then
the way that their agendas work, there's always a visitor comments at the beginning. So we always put visitors at the beginning so you don't have to sit through the conversation. Because I think we spent at last Crossroads meeting, was it 45 minutes discussing the intricacies
Yes.
of one particular business's parking habits?
Although it went much better than expected.
Way better than expected, but yes. So I apologize for that. And then Mike, they will likely be having conversations because construction will be starting very soon on Old Orchard streetscape. So other than that, I can't remember anything. I'll have to think. I haven't looked at the agenda in a while, but we'll put you at the beginning also.
That's fine. And then let's keep the working group subcommittee as far as what we want to do with it next. Let's definitely make that a focus of our next meeting. Since we're just running light on time, we got to get through the commercial vacancy report.
So really quickly, are you going to have another working group? I need to know whether I need to post an agenda or anything for another working group.
And that's up to you guys that are on it, but I don't think we really need it. I think we have a good game plan here. We just need to act on it. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think we'll talk more at the next meeting, and then after that we can go back to the
Right. See if we need one after that.
Yeah.
Just let me know if you are going to have one so I can make sure the agenda is properly posted.
Okay.
so obviously Tim's the best person to go to the Old Webster meeting, no question. But would it be good? Would the optics be better if we sent someone else with them so it sends the message that, hey,
Yes.
people, there's somebody here that you've not seen before and don't know, like an more of a clear signal to them that the commission is sitting in, paying attention and giving feedback. I mean, again, Tim will perform that role and is in the best position to report back. But I think the optics of having someone new from the commission create the appearance of us paying attention.
I don't disagree. I was kind of thinking the same thing as well.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Just having two people that each one shows a commitment. Maybe Mike needs somebody too.
I agree.
So Andrew, did you want to go to Old Webster instead?
I'm just suggesting that someone should. I'm happy to. I'm also happy to go to Crossroads. I'll go to any of them. I mean, I'll go to both of them. Yeah, sure. I'm up for.
I just want to make sure I get people links.
What's the day for Old Webster?
So they're meeting next Tuesday. Because
check my calendar.
they're at the end of the month. They're meeting Tuesday, the 27th of April. And then they're meeting again on May 25th.
My calendar's
No.
Tuesday morning, so I can volunteer for that.
No, we met
Else
Tuesday.
wants to. I'm just making myself available. We can marshal resources however we.
Yeah, so do you want me to send you a link to April 27th?
Sure, unless
Okay.
somebody else would like to go, I'll be happy to do it.
Okay, so for now, I'm going to send Rebecca Crossroads, Mike Old Orchard, and Andrew Old Webster. And then just in case, Andrew, I'll send you Old Crossroads also,
Sure.
if you want it. And then anyone else?
I think that'd be a good idea because the third Thursday is our Chamber of Commerce lunch.
Mm.
And I'm always doing a lot of last minute things. So I'd feel better if I had somebody else going to that one.
I can plan on it. No problem.
Okay.
All right, so I'm confused.
I know, I'm confused too.
Who's
So
going to Crossroads?
I'm doing Crossroads and Andrew is doing Crossroads.
okay, so you've got
Okay, well, I
both.
thought you, all right.
You've got
I
both.
wanted a second person is all I said.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then Andrew's going to Old Webster.
With Tim.
With
Yep.
Tim. And then Mike's going to
So
Old
who's going with Mike to Old Orchard?
Maybe I'll just ask her, Bob, if he wants to go when I see him tomorrow.
If someone else
I
ends
can
up
do
wanting to
that
go,
too
I
if we
can send
need to.
another link.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's move real quick into new business. So commercial vacancy report, Mario, what you got?
So I'm going to share this real quick. I did it in the same format as we've done in the past. And it's funny, I looked back at it and technically I was doing it every 6 months for you all. And so April of 2020 is when I was supposed to be sharing with you. So this has now been 18 months since I've given you a report. So here's a few quick things. We always sort of talk about how many visible businesses there are in Old Webster, and then which are the vacancies. So Provolo, which has been vacant for years, Massage Envy, vacant for years, and Bank of America that just recently closed. We usually also count, there's a couple unusual spaces that are kind of pseudo vacant. And then we don't normally count the Ozark Theater, but technically that's vacant too. The 111 West Lockwood, the Le Macaron, I know I keep saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I know he's been working with the health department. It's any day now in terms of them being able to open. So we're at 3.8% vacant for Old Webster. It would be even less if you include like Le Macaron or some other things, but that's the exact same number we were at 18 months ago, which was 6 months before the pandemic started. Old Orchard, there's 88 businesses between South Old Orchard and Old Orchard Center. Currently, we have vacancies in some medical offices that closed around 2017. They're kind of back behind where the pharmacy used to be. Fresh Art Photography, which closed in 2017, that's around the corner under the Novel Neighbor. And then now the Subaru locations. There's also some tenant spaces open in the strip center that has Blue Dahlia. And then there's some exterior renovation permits at 8153 Big Bend. And then there's an occupancy inspection for 8157. So technically, if John was on here, he'd probably tell us what's happening, that there's potentially, I think, 2 new tenants going into those 2 spaces. So out of those 6 spaces that are vacant, 2 of them are actually behind the primary building or in a lower level, but I still counted them all. So that puts us up at 6.8% vacant, which is a tiny bit higher than what we were 18 months ago. If you take everything in a big pile of the 192 businesses with 10 vacancies, that puts us at a 5.2% vacant, which is up from 18 months ago. We were at 4.16 and we're at 5.2. Again, if you remove some of these ones that I understand are tenants are coming in, you're actually back down probably to pre-pandemic numbers and pretty much exactly the same. I always give the reminder of some of the new stuff that's going in right now. So Union Bagel is under construction in Crossroads. Le Macaron should be maybe April or May. Didi Mao, I think, is going to be pretty much any day now in the former Forenza Pizza location. Wingstop's under construction in Yorkshire. Sushi, which is a new sushi restaurant, under construction in Yorkshire. Amy's Cake Pop Shop and Boozy Bites, we're working with them on final things for their location, including their signage. Total Access Urgent Cares permits are in and under review. Rolling Ridge has requested a CUP to use some of their existing space for event space, so that they could have things in some of their spaces for meetings, for birthday parties, for wedding receptions, things like that. That will be on the next Plan Commission meeting coming up on May 3rd. The other thing that I did, which I usually do, is I usually give you something that sort of summarizes all the businesses. So I did the 6 months ending in 2019, or not the 6 months, the couple months ending in 2019, just so you could see what we finished in 2019. In those few months, we had 15 opened new businesses, 2 home occupations opened. We then had 16 that closed. Now, I always try to remind people, 6 of those were the hairstylists because they have to get individual business licenses. And then we had 6 closed home occupations. During all of 2020, we had 41 opened businesses. 12 of those were relocations or just a new ownership, for example. 15 opened home occupations. And then we had almost the exact same amount closing. So we had 40 that closed, 10 of those were hairstylists. 13 of them closed were home occupations. Yeah, almost an exact, here's how many opened, here's how many closed.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then for all city businesses for the first few months of 2021, we have 10 opened businesses, which 5 of them were either like relocating spaces or new ownership, 6 opened home occupations, Then we had 21 closed. Some of those are ones that actually closed in 2020, but didn't do the paperwork till 2021. And 6 of those were hairstylists, and we had 7 closed home occupations. Now, just as a reminder, all these opened, that does not include any of these. They do not count as opened until we actually issue their business license, and they don't get their business license until they're ready to occupy the space. So we do have quite a few new ones. So for example, just so you can kind of see, I'm going to stop this share and share one other thing real quick, because I'm trying to be as quick as possible. So for example, sorry, it's so hard to get the screen to work well. So in 2021 right now, I have this whole series of new ones that I'm still working with that we haven't issued their occupancy permit yet. So there's Zushi, there's the Wingstop, there's the Amy's Cake Pop Shop. In this case, the insurance company is a relocation. Webster Family Dental, it's just a new owner. This Omni Refrigeration, it's a relocation. So, and then some of these say new owner, but they're actually incorrect. It's a new business completely, but on the application, they checkboxed new owner. And then in 2020, I still have a grouping. Oh, I think I took them off. I have a grouping that I still had that hadn't been issued yet. So typically what we have is we have a couple different spreadsheets that show our reports of what we have. This is separate from what's in the final business license. This is our checklist that we work with the fire department and their occupancy inspection and other things to try to figure out what we still have waiting for them. So I think that covers all of that. Just a reminder for anyone who is super interested. Hold on, I'm going to go back to the website. Let's go to the website. Just a reminder, Old Webster Redevelopment Project. For anyone who is super curious, you can actually see their current submission. And there is a model at City Hall. We are taking, there's a response where you can leave a comment or a question. This sort of shows some of the renderings and things that are in the full package. But if you want to click on this, this will open up a full PDF of their submittal. Now, as a reminder, they've submitted it, but the city has not finished their review. We would anticipate the earliest a hearing would happen is the June Plan Commission meeting on June 7th. We are working towards that. If it is going to go on June 7th, you will see ads in the Webster Kirkwood Times in May. You will also see signs on the property. But anything that you want to look through in here, it's a 80-page document of their submittal. It includes the drawings, the traffic study, the FEMA information. So all of that is on the website if you need it. And then again, if you want to share anything, this is the comment section. And then we have hard copies of these available at City Hall. And they've been coming in fast and furious. We posted it on a Friday, and I think I came into work on Monday morning with 40 emails.
It has been a hot topic on the community pages.
I understand that. But since they kicked me off and I can't see it.
They kicked you off?
Well, one of them is imploding right now. They keep archiving it.
No, a long time ago, they kicked off anybody that was working for the city because they said that we somehow could use that like Big Brother and see what people are doing. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that, but that was kind of humorous. So yeah, I haven't been on in a very, very long time because they kicked me off and I didn't ask to get back on.
Is this the connection or the alt?
Both.
Both, okay.
And it's been like 2.5 years since they kicked me off.
It's a blessing in disguise, I think.
It is. It totally is.
Do we have time for business district updates real fast?
Yeah, so again, most of them are working on parking. We just finished budget for all 3 of them. So just as a reminder, the city is doing their budget work session in May with the council members, and then the budget will be going for public hearing before the council in June. for approval to start for the July 1 budget year. I know that there's a number of things in there for different projects. One of the things that's in there and hasn't been cut yet is some money for Crossroads Streetscape that they've tried to get for multiple years. Old Orchard Streetscape, the matching money was still in there and the federal money has come and that should be starting soon. And then they've been talking a lot about parking problems. That's pretty much it, I think, in updates. Old Webster, I know they've been planning a ton of events, so I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about events next week. And I think that's it right now.
Okay, good deal. City updates, Laura's not here as far as on like city or council updates. Our next meeting's May 27th. Like I said, I think probably the subcommittee update and what we should do as far as action plan going forward would be a lot of that meeting. Anything else that we should add to the agenda real quick that anybody wants to add on?
Well, do I have to do the form thing online? Just say that I'm leaving the like, just to make it official? Like, is there something?
You just send an email to Katie,
Okay.
but I think that it's,
It kind of goes without saying. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
That night. Okay.
yeah.
Well, and if we were live, we probably would have done like donuts and coffee for you too, but it's another dim goodbye on the committee, but at least you're not going far. You'll be
No.
close.
Maybe when you start, we can give you French macarons.
Yes. Whenever they open, whenever they're just torturing me at this point.
Well, I'm having a Bloody Mary right now for you, so.
Nice.
Who knows if I am, you know?
Coffee, but now I'm feeling bad that it is.
You don't know what's in my cup.
Exactly. Well, and I don't know what my marching orders will be, but hopefully there's a way I can help promote what all the commissions and councils are doing in my new role. So
Well, thank you for everything you've done here, Jennifer.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
We appreciate you. But good deal. Well, on that note, why don't we go ahead and adjourn? So you guys have a great day and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thanks, y'all.